Hey guys, it's your old pal Alice Cooper. Basically, this is Spooktacular. So you're gonna be seeing a bunch of horror movies that have a Halloween theme to it. Look for it all this month.
Hey guys, I'm back for Scream 3. This is my review of Scream 3. So it's not a very complex story, really. Uh, it starts out basically with where basically number 2 left off. It basically Cotton Weary, has his opportunity to. He gets his own show basically on television. 100% Cotton, and he does this little show. He finishes taping of the show. He gets in his car and he gets a call, unknown call from a fan evidently, and they talk for a bit, and turns out that's the killer evidently, and he talks for a bit, and he says that he's actually at his Cotton Weary's apartment with his girlfriend, and he says, "She's very pretty, Cotton. A step up from Sydney's mother." And turns out that he says that you harm her, and I'll kick your ass, your butt, basically. And and he's and he says, "Wrong answer." He hangs up the phone, and the guy goes, "Oh wait, no wait," and he curses for a bit, and he has trouble driving around, and he even has a fender bender with one of the things, and he says, "Get out of the way," and he rushes home to get home to his apartment where his girlfriend is there waiting for him, and she says that how was the show? And so basically, earlier, Cotton Weary finally had the opportunity to present his side of the story of all this, and he has the opportunity to, to say everything he wants to say. And with his own show, he thoroughly gets to say whatever he wants to say on air. So basically, he talks to his girlfriend, and she says, "Why do you want to kill me?" He says, "I don't want to kill you, baby." And he says, "Watch out!" And the freaking killer is behind her. She turns around and the freaking killer stabs her. And Cotton, he's distressed by this. He has a freaking gun at this point. And what can I tell you? Freaking killer, he grabs Cotton and freaking kills him. And that's the end of Cotton Weary, right here in Scream 3. That's the end of him. So that's boom. This movie finally starts. And the body count has started. Well, 2 people dead all within the first 10 minutes of the movie. It's pretty big, especially when it's Cotton Weary. So basically, that's pretty much the beginning of it. So we cut to the Sydney. She's obviously still part of the cast. She isn't in. She shows up again in part 4, so don't worry about it. So basically, she's there doing her thing, and she's answering the phone for a suicide call-in line. And the freaking killer, turns out that he found her, calls her up on the phone, and he says that he's he needs help, and he reveals that he's actually the killer. And he says, "No, I need to talk to you." He actually uses his Sydney's mother's voice to talk to her. And she's all like, "You know your mother's voice when you hear it?" And she says, "Turn on the news." And he goes, "My mother is dead. Who is this?" So she turns on the television, and then there's Cotton Weary's death right there on the television. And and she's appalled by this, and she checks the phone, and she finds out that something's up, and she's been caught. She freaking gets up. She basically, pulls a freaking gun out of the desk, because she ain't fooling around at this point, because she killed Billy in the first movie. She pretty much is not a pushover in this movie either. So she freaking gets up, and she says that something's up. Something's gonna be up with this, and freaking she has this nightmare basically of her mother, that she says that the mother is like looking at her, and she says that you're just like me, and she basically goes away, when Sydney opens the window. So that's more Wes Craven for you, I guess. And Wes, basically, he had his way. He of course is Scream 4, so don't worry about that. So basically, there's not much to it, really. Basically, they're shooting Scream 3, and that they get Dewey's help to consult on the movie. And they hire him to do it because, he was part of the whole Woodsboro murders. And turned out that Gail Weathers is the one that wrote the book that inspired the movie. And that the movie is actually based on, actually. And then, of course, it's Stab 3. And they got this casting. And they even got a select, cast members, including Jenny McCarthy. And she gets this call, and she answers it, and it turns out it's the killer, obviously. She says that, I'm not happy I'm a 30-year-old playing a 20-year-old, and I'm not happy I have to die naked. And she goes around, and she freaking gets killed. And then, of course, we have this other character, Piper Potts, I think that's her name, I'm not entirely sure about that. And she basically, she's playing Gail Weathers in the movie. And she gets it, she actually was playing Gail Weathers for 3 movies, and she says that after a while, she says that she's actually in her head, and that would explain her constant headaches, Gail Weathers' headaches. And after a while, they eventually come to this part where the killer calls them up inside of the house, and they're all there, basically the whole cast, and for Stab 3, and they stand there and talk. And turns out the director is not the one that's there, and the security guard is actually Brad Garrett, I think that's his name. He talks to Dewey, and he says, "Hey, Dewdra, I'm inside your trailer here." And Dewey, he's been protecting Piper Potts' character during the movie, and eventually he gets wiped out because that's security guard, and he gets wiped out. And Piper, she's surprised by this, and much later on, she gets basically, she gets whacked, and the lady playing Sydney, she steals the costume from the. She says that it wouldn't. I don't think they would mind if she got a souvenir. Her playing Sydney, chosen to play Sydney for 3 movies. She was really happy that she got to meet the real Sydney Prescott. And eventually, she gets killed in the bathroom, and freaking Sydney is scared by this. And much later on, we discover that all along it was the freaking director. And he says that he's a director. He directs. And after a while, they have this little thing involving the house, and he freaking calls up. Patrick Dempsey actually plays the police officer that's trying to protect Sydney inside the police station. And much later on, the killer lures Sydney out to the house to save Dewey and Miss Gail Weathers. And eventually, that they confront the killer, and she says that, "You want me, mother effer? Come get me." And Dewey is of course tied up, and so is Gale Weathers. And after a while, uh, Gale Weathers eventually finds out, oh my gosh, it was Roman the whole time. And Gale Weathers' actor is wiped out too, and the actor playing Dewey is surprisingly alive also. It's like the original, and then it ends basically with Dewey proposing uh, to Gale Weathers, and she accepts, and that's pretty much it. And Sydney, she says that everything is fine, basically. She opens up the gate, turns off the security alarm, and she walks out. And then she goes, and then the Patrick Dempsey, has a cast on his arm, and he says he has popcorn, and he says we're going to watch a movie. And he says she'll have to find out. And the door opens mysteriously, and she's wondering what's going on with that. And then screen fades to black, and then roll credits. And then just like in the last two movies, the screen has this music, and it shows the characters that are playing the actors that are playing the roles and their names and their character names. So it's Scream 3 is a good movie. Somewhat.
Scream 3 is a good movie and is given a rating of popcorn balls and gum.
Scream 3 is an okay movie, I guess. It's a good movie for Halloween if you want to sit down and watch a pretty decent horror movie. It has its moments. It's not as gory as the first two, but it's an enjoyable movie, I guess. Probably pretty much answers the questions from the first two movies, so pretty much wraps up the series. But there's actually one more. Okay, so go ahead and hit subscribe. Watch some more videos. Thank you for watching, and go ahead and hit thumbs up to support the channel. And leave a comment below, and I'll see you next time. Bye.